That's him, yeah.
The nicest guy in commercial real estate. G's gonna make him look good. I'm probably not gonna have to say too much because David talks a lot. And yeah, here we are. Let's go. No, I think we just walk the project. Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk and talk. All right, let's do it. So, I mean, basically, we built the building across the parking lot, 1020 Boston Post Road, in 2007 and 8. You know, that was the first mixed-use building that we built in downtown Darien. Prior to that, in 2001, my partner, Penny Glassmeyer, built Grove Street Plaza, where the melting pot and Flower Water Salt is.
Okay.
So Penny did that in 01. I did 1020 Boston Post Road in 07, 08. Yep, right there where Merrill is, and the restaurant 1020 Post. Yep. And that's where Granola Bar is opening up.
Oh, yeah.
There's a day spa, Williams Day Spa in there, and then Gopher Ice Cream and Jay McLaughlin. So basically that building and Grove Street Plaza were the two new mixed-use buildings that really kind of lit up the downtown. And while we were building 1020 Boston Post Road, the families that owned some of the properties that comprised the Corbin District came to us and said, hey, we'd like to talk to you about selling, you know, buying our property. We're getting older, we want to sell it, but we want to sell it to a group that we trust. And, you know, that began the idea. Yeah. You know, what this project does is it adds about 100,000 feet of retail, restaurants, and fitness. About 120,000 feet of office and 112 apartments. And so this is the first phase. And what we're doing here is we're building multiple buildings, you know, smaller scale buildings, instead of one big building down the street, which would have been cheaper and quicker and easier to do. We're building smaller buildings that complement each other and look like they happened over time.
Yeah.
By different people, by different architects, so that you'll see like the architectural style is different.
Yep.
You know, each one is, I'm starting to use the word sculpted.
Yep.
You know, they're really carefully designed and laid out to look as if it happened over time.
Nice.
Not like something that just fell out of the sky.
Yeah, and it probably fits more into the Darien vibe.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And what you can see is we've totally reshaped this side of the street.
Yeah.
This was a gas station at the front, a single-story office about here, and another single-story office over there. And basically now we've built what's going to look like a series of buildings. These are all treated differently with different facades, different size windows. Each one is going to look like a different building. And then, you know, again, the front building is different, and that's in two parts. So you'll get a sense, and these are all storefronts, each individual stores. And then we connected it into the municipal parking lot. So the traffic flow, Darien, the knock on Darien was always that, you know, you had the Post Road running through it, and then it was bisected by the train, by Metro North. There was no depth. Everything was on the Post Road. So what this project does is it creates depth. So this becomes a pedestrian-friendly street, like almost like Elm Street in New Canaan or Greenwich Avenue off the Post Road. What we've done is we've set this up so that this first phase is 100% leased.
Yep.
Some of the tenants are our existing tenants. They're going to basically relocate in March and April into these storefronts. Then we'll take this down. So they're smaller businesses, many of which have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, the idea was that we wanted to make a home for them so they didn't get dislocated. We wanted to, you know, preserve like the character of the downtown. And then the way I like to describe it is then inject like some New York cool. And we're working with, you know, well, we signed a lease with Chopped, and we've got a lease in the works with an affiliate of the Barcelona restaurant group. We've got a lease in the works with Millie's from Nantucket in Washington, D.C.
Well, check out their website.
Cool, right?
Fits your vibe.
The vibe, right?
Perfect.
Yeah. No, those guys are going to kill it. Amazing. But you can see here, Kyle, we've got like the different buildings. And so that's a brick building. This is a shingled building, clapboard on the side. This one will be brick. So it's, again, looking like multiple buildings that happened over time. And there's retail on the first floor, then 2 floors of apartments. So you got people living down here, supporting the businesses, eating in the restaurants, Yeah, so and you know we've got the Whole Foods at the end. There's a 40,000-foot Whole Foods at the end of the street. We use Placer AI, so we could see that only like 14% of the customers of Whole Foods are actually from Darien. 86% of the customers of Whole Foods in Darien are coming from out of town, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So this became sort of a regional destination. You know, these are our existing stores. Everything is Rosie, Shoes and More. You want to go into one of the stores?
Yeah.
Bye, Audrey.
So
Hi.
Rosie is one of the, you know, legendary retailers of Darien. She started with a pop-up with us years ago, and now she's one of the rockers. Pop-up store.
Just kind of test drive a store to
Retail
see.
store?
Yeah, 2 doors over. Before a new tenant moved in, I said, David, if they move in August, can I like take it over in like April or May just to try it out? And he was
like,
very kind about it and allowed me to start my journey.
And you've been here ever since?
How long ago was that?
That was probably like 12 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that's
yeah.
And I've been in this space 10 years. I was just talking about you because I said that you said to me, you know, I'm signing the lease, but you know, we are going to do a move at some point in the, you know, and then in the near future. And I was like, yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Still waiting for that call.
Yeah, no, it's happening now.
No, one thing about this guy too is whenever I say something about my landlord, he goes, no, I'm a real estate provider. Don't use that word,
I like
landlord.
that phrase.
Yeah. So,
Landlord is feudal.
It
Yeah.
is, totally.
It is.
I am the lord of the land.
Yes.
Like, I don't like it. I don't like it, so we don't let people call us landlord.
I know.
Yeah, we're the real estate provider. So you've got, these are all stores that are going to relocate and stay a part of the project. So Shoes and More, the Darien Toy Box. Yeah, Helen Ainson. This is a Mother of the Bride store that's been in business since, I forget when, but over 40 years. Get Joy. This is a local friend of ours who opened up this as a ultra premium dog food, subscription dog food business.
And our owner started this company, Tom Eriks, because his dogs were diagnosed with cancer and they were given 2 months to live. And he kept them alive for 20 months. And he's been working with veterinarians and specialists. And we have our food here now that has probiotics, postbiotics, salmon oil, everything that's good. There's no salt, there's no sugar added in any of our food. The only grain is in our fresh meals. Here, there's no grain, and our treats are all single ingredients, they're the organs.
Because I have a Frenchie who's like super high maintenance, can't have any grain, single protein stuff, so I know this diet stuff is big.
It is, and actually we just got an inquiry and we sent out a big box to a major butcher in Utah. And they want to have our treats because they don't have the ability to freeze dry organ meats because they're realizing how important organ meats are for humans and for dogs, for everything. Their coats, their ligaments, actually it can help anxiety as well.
Do you see a for lease sign up? There's no for lease sign. You know, this is about, it's a lot of word of mouth.
Yep.
It's a lot of, you know, my friend told me about what you guys are doing and I want to get involved. You know, or I heard about it and I want to get involved. And, you know, I think that a lot of smaller businesses, you know, privately held businesses, you know, they don't feel as welcome in some of the newer developments.
That's very cold.
It's cold
Yeah.
and it kind of impersonal and transactional. But the reality of it is, to me, like, that's the problem. That's where retail doesn't work. It's the connectivity to your community, to the customer. Well, the thing is, at this point, the foundation that we have is so good. Every decision we make, we want to add to that. We don't want to take away from it or weaken it, right? Every decision we make is an opportunity to make it better.
But when you have the end in mind, what you want, that makes those little decisions easier.
Totally. And you can kind of feel it when you walk around, right?
Totally.
This is different.
Well, because you know what it is? You know what it makes me think about? Is like they say Brooklyn is a brand.
Yeah.
You have a Darien brand.
We have an opportunity
Yeah.
to be a brand.
Yes.
It's kind of here,
Yeah.
but, you know, and that's where I think also, you know, if we can take what we've got, you know, supplement it with additional cool local stores, and then pepper it with some cool New York stuff that, you know, so many people who live here have come from Manhattan.
Yeah.
They either worked in Manhattan or they lived in Manhattan. Most of us lived in Manhattan for some period of time.
Yeah, it's like part of the crawl,
It's
right? Like,
yeah, and they want that stuff. They want the Barry's boot camp.
The
They want
walkability,
the walkability. Absolutely. I think the story goes that he went on a trip to India and had an epiphany and was like, I want to learn to bake. So he is totally self-taught and started making baguettes and bread, selling them to a couple of restaurants, including
How long ago was
Gray Barnes.
that? Oh yeah.
And then he literally started showing up on Saturdays or Fridays in the morning, and he'd sell loaves out of the back of his truck, and the line started building. So then he made his way to my partner, Penny. I don't know where he was baking, but he found his way to my partner, Penny Glassmeyer, and said, I would really like to open up a store. And there was a fitness studio here. It was a bar method place called Go Figure. And so Penny met Rob, liked him, believed in him, and basically helped him get going. And so they built this.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Can I get a thing of English muffins, a sourdough loaf?
Chocolate chip. Do you want the sourdough sliced or no?
No.
Okay.
All right, that's it from Darien, Connecticut, the Corbin District. Check this out. You guys just saw David Geneovese, the nicest guy on the planet. We got our flour, water, and salt. Got the English muffins. Got the genie guy. Unbelievable project going on down here. Very thoughtful project, and like I was telling David, you have a brand here. You have a brand called the Corbin District. Darien has a brand. Every store is so thoughtful. I love the project. Love David Geneovese, and yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on this project. We're gonna come back whenever they're done, but they're really grooving now, as you can see. And stay tuned. Check it out.